Okay, 12.4a is finding angle measure. We've so far talked about tangent lines. We've talked about chords. Today you're going to see some secants. Anyone know what a secant is? That's okay. Here's a secant, okay? Well, first, this was a tangent, right? Tangents hit in how many points? Hit the circle at 1 point, so that's a tangent. A secant hits the circle in 2 points, but keeps going. So it's kind of like a chord that keeps going. Okay, so this is a secant. This is a chord. Okay, so you're going to see some chords, some tangents, and some secants today. They all show up. There are 2 theorems that we're going to talk about today, which each have their own equation. They're very similar, but not identical, but very similar, okay? So you're gonna I'm gonna draw 4 circle pictures. We're gonna start with just 1 for now, and then the next 3 all go together. So the first one, oops, that's not a circle. The first one looks like this. And this theorem deals with 2 secants that meet inside the circle. So this is if they meet inside a circle. Okay? You have a secant here, a secant here. Okay? Your center of your circle is not the point that they meet at. That doesn't look like the center, does it? That's okay. Actually, we're just going to take that away. But those are not central angles. They don't meet in the center. What you're going to be looking at here is an angle. We're going to call this angle 1. And then there's 2 arcs that relate to that angle. So we have this arc here, which we're going to call x degrees. But then what do you know about this angle? It's the same as angle 1, okay? So the arc that relates to angle 1 on the other side is this angle. Even though it's not touching angle 1, it relates to it, okay? So this theorem says if you have 2 secants or 2 chords that meet inside a circle, then the angle formed by them is half of the sum of the 2 arcs that are the intercepted arcs. So in other words, what they're saying is angle 1 is going to equal half of the sum of x and y. Okay, so angle 1 equals half of x plus y. And I'm going to do an example of that in just a little bit, but I'm going to show you the second theorem. And this one's 3 separate pictures because you can see it 3 different ways. But this is if they meet outside the circle. Okay, so if they meet outside the circle, we're going to start with 3 circles here and just look at what we can do with them. All right, so if your secants or your tangents meet outside the circle, one option is it looks like this. Okay, this would be 2 secants. You have an angle here. We're going to call it angle 1 still. And then you have 2 arcs that intercept that angle. Okay, you have this arc out here, which we're going to call x, and the arc in here, which we call y. Okay, so you still have an angle 1, you still have an x, you still have a y. Your formula is nearly identical, except for instead of adding, now we're subtracting. Okay, so what we're going to do is say the measure of angle 1 equals half of x minus y. Okay, so the angle is always the standalone. Okay, your angle stands alone. Your arcs stay together. The other thing that you got to make sure of with these problems is when they meet outside, you're subtracting. When they meet inside, you're adding. Okay? And you need to make sure that the one that's further away from your point, from your vertex, is the one that comes first. It has to be x minus y. If you do y minus x, you end up with negatives. It doesn't work. Okay? Always the further away minus the closer to the angle. Okay? So that's one picture of what it could look like. Another one is if you have a tangent. So let's say this is tangent and this is a secant, and you have angle 1 and you have x and you have y. Just because it's tangent, it doesn't change anything. So you're still using angle 1 equals half of x minus y. It's the exact same formula. Okay, and then your other option is if you have two tangents. So say this is tangent and this is tangent. Here's angle 1, here's x, here's y. Nothing changes. Okay, so you could have two tangents, one tangent, or no tangents. You would still use this formula all the way through. Okay, angle 1 equals half of x minus y. Questions on that? Okay, so we're going to do a few of these, and then you'll have some time to work. So let's say, I'll give you my notes in a little while. Let's say you have this circle. And in that circle, we have so your center is here somewhere. This is a 38-degree arc. This is x. And this is an 82-degree arc. Okay? The first question you should ask yourself on these is, does it meet inside or outside? Where do our lines meet? Inside the circle or outside? Inside. When they meet inside, are you adding or subtracting? You're adding, okay? So you're going to use the formula using addition. Now here's where a lot of people make the mistake. My variable right now is an x. In the formula, what does it replace? 1, right? So be careful that you don't plug that x in place of the x in the formula. The formula is just a bunch of unknowns, right? It's just this, those are placeholders for us right now. Essentially what you could think is the angle equals 1/2 of the arc plus the arc is how you need to set it up, right? So my angle right now is what? X. So we're going to put x as our standalone equals 1/2 of what?
38 plus 82.
Right, 38 plus 82. So you get x equals half of 120. So x would be a 60-degree angle. Okay? So when it meets inside, you add, and just make sure that the angle is the thing that stands alone, not one of the arcs. Okay? All right, how about this one? Okay, so this one's tangent. It meets at one point. This angle is 22 degrees. This arc is 98 degrees. And this arc is z degrees. Okay, so the angle meets inside or outside? Outside, which means we're doing what operation? We're subtracting, okay? So you're gonna do the angle equals half of the bigger arc minus the smaller arc, right? That's essentially your setup. Angle 1 equals half of x minus y. What replaces the angle here? What is it? 22, right? This is our angle. So we're going to say 22 equals half. And here's where you have to be a little bit careful. Which one comes first? The 98 or the z? 98, right? We want the bigger arc, or the further away arc will always be the bigger one, minus the smaller one, which is the closer one to the angle. So 98 minus z is your setup, okay? A lot of people at this point do it different than I would do it. You can do it by distributing. I don't do distributing because then you end up with 1/2 z and then you have an extra step at the end. I just get rid of the 1/2 right off the bat. So if you want to distribute, go for it. I'm telling you less mistakes get made historically. That doesn't mean for you personally, but historically less mistakes get made if people multiply by 2 on both sides to just get rid of this. So you get 44 equals 98 minus z. Yeah. Peter?
It's not 98 minus 22.
No, 22 is the angle, and the angle is always your standalone.
Okay.
It's got to be arc minus arc.
Okay.
Okay, so if this is my setup, again, you could subtract 98 or you can subtract 44. I don't care which direction you go, whatever makes more sense to you. So if I just take away a 44 here and add my z to the other side, then I get z equals 98 minus 44 is 54 degrees. So that arc would be 54 degrees. Okay, a way you could check that is just make sure the one that's further away has to be bigger than the one that's closer to the angle. In this case it is, so you at least know you're on the right track. If it's not exactly right, at least you don't have an unreasonable answer. Okay. Questions on that? You got a question? Oh, okay. Okay. How about this one? What if you have 2 tangents and this is 40 degrees and this arc is x degrees? Okay, and I want to know what is x. This one tends to throw people off a little bit because it doesn't seem like it has enough information, right? But if you have 2 tangents, this is x, what's the rest of it? What? What is this arc? You could call it y, but then you have 2 variables, so we wouldn't be able to solve with a y. How does it relate to x? It's not the same. What do those 2 add up to? 360, right? It's a full circle. So if this is x, then this one has to be 360 minus whatever x is, right? So you're just going to call it 360 minus x for now. We don't know an exact answer, an exact number, but we do know that that is true. So how would we set that one up? What's the standalone? 40. It's always the angle is your standalone, right? So 40 equals half of what? 360 minus x is your bigger arc, plus or minus? Minus, because it's outside the circle, and then x is your smaller arc. Do you see that? That one tends to give people some trouble, so make sure you're good there. Okay, so if we simplify this, 40 equals half of 360 minus x would be minus 2x. And again, you may distribute. This one is actually nicer to distribute on than the last one, at least, because you don't end up with fractions. But I'm still going to multiply by 2 because I like it better. So if I multiply by 2, this is gone. Multiply by 2, this is gone. Make sure you're not multiplying the 360 and the 2x by 2, right? You're multiplying that whole right side by 2, which gets rid of the 1/2. So you get 80 equals 360 minus 2x. And then take away the 360 or take away the 80. Again, it doesn't matter which direction you go as long as you finish off the algebra. So if I do minus 360, I get a negative 280 equals a negative 2x. Divide by negative 2. And x is 140. Okay, so that arc, this arc right here, is 140 degrees.
Could you also do 80 minus 80 like we did in the one above it, where we did 44 minus 44? So why are we doing 80 minus 360?
You could do 360 minus 80. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
can we do minus?
Yeah, you can move it to the other side. It's just one less step if you move it this way. Because then you don't have to mess with a negative on top of, or you don't have to move your 2x over to the other side.
Okay.
But you can do it either way. They both work. Questions so far? Okay, in the spirit of that same type of problem, what would you do with this? They're all kind of the same. They're all using the same idea. So you may call it example 2, but there's not really a lot of different concepts. It's all the same concept. Okay, now those are both tangent, even though they don't really, either one of them look tangent, but pretend they're both tangent. It's kind of a trick question. What's x? 360 minus 110, right? So you could do 70 equals half of the bigger arc minus the smaller arc, and you would solve and get the right answer. But on this one, you really don't even need to, because you have a whole circle. If you just take away the smaller arc, you get 250, and that's the measure of this arc. So just pay attention. Sometimes there's a short way that you just don't see because you think you need to plug it into the formula. This one doesn't even need it plugged into the formula, okay? But if you did, this is what it would look like. Okay, last one.
Give it up just a little bit so I can see.
So we have a y here, a 30 here, a 110 here. How do you set that one up? What's your standalone? What? 30 is not the standalone. Y. It's always the angle that has to be by itself, right? So y equals half of, are we adding or subtracting on this one? Subtracting, because we meet outside the circle. When it's outside, you subtract. Which one comes first, 30 or 110? 110, the one that's further away. So you're going 110 minus 30, so half of 80. So y is 40. Okay. Questions on that?